Welcome back to Soft Life Solid Habits, where I give you the blueprint to becoming that girl. Today's lesson is exit early. I came across this quote that said, if you get on the wrong train, get off at the nearest station. The longer you wait, the more expensive the return trip becomes. You guys, this is so true. When you're growing and you're learning and you're having new experiences and meeting new people, you're gonna run into scenarios that just aren't the right fit for you. And you're not gonna know until you get involved, which is good. It's part of the learning process and it's part of life. But the second you realize that this is not the right fit for you, you need to exit the scenario. Status quo bias is what makes us stick in certain situations even when it can be harmful. And people often stay in misaligned situations because of loss aversion. This is when you fear what you might lose more than you value what you might gain. The longer you stay, the more your nervous system is going to normalize the stress. And you don't want the wrong train to become your baseline. It's you providing nervous system protection and providing long-term peace. Misalignment builds internal friction, which is creating burnout and self-doubt. So when you stay in relationships, jobs, or routines that aren't aligning with your truth, you're going to create cognitive dissonance, which is the mental discomfort from staying in these routines that don't align. Living a soft life means living an honest life. Peace will always come from alignment, not performance. Throughout all my years in this entertainment music industry, it's been a hard lesson to learn that sometimes exiting, when you've invested so much time and so much energy into a situation, exiting is sometimes the best strategy and the best thing for your mental health and your peace and your overall well-being. Just because you invest time into something doesn't mean you should stay. Staying just because you started doesn't equal loyalty. It can really be self-sabotage, and this is hard to recognize, so you need to really sit with yourself and analyze what's going on. But you'll start to recognize that draining feeling that you get. That's when you'll know it's time to exit gracefully and as early as possible. You don't have to owe anyone a continued presence just because your paths have crossed and you've been kind of going down the same road. It's actually really wise to leave a situation when you realize it's not working for you anymore. You can always start as many times as you need to. It's never too late to reset, and it's never too late to try again. You don't fail by getting off the train, and that's a scary thought and one that I battle with all the time. What I realize more and more every day is the failure really comes from staying on the train and riding it until it crashes. I told you guys about this book. It's by Joe Dispenza. This can be a really helpful guide for identity shifting and subconscious reprogramming. This is for when you realize you're not only on the wrong train, but that you've become the passenger you no longer want to be. It's a science-backed guide to rewiring your beliefs and becoming your future self now. You can't wait for your life to change to start feeling better and making better decisions. You have to start making those choices now so that you can feel better and change your life. The thing I always struggle with is not wanting to be rude or not wanting to make somebody feel bad, and sometimes what you want and what you need can get lost in the process of that. When you're considering other people's thoughts and feelings and you start prioritizing that above what you need, you owe it to yourself to make the decisions that are right for you. And it's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to pivot. Magnetic women are not perfect, they're self-aware, and we're definitely not going to double down on dead ends. Walk away when you know it's time. Preserve your energy and emotional credit. You don't need to hit rock bottom to realize that something is not for you. Save this video and comment rerouting if you're choosing peace over pressure. Create these solid habits that you guys can have the soft life and the dream life that you've always wanted. Love you.
You're a woman. You can literally get anything you want from a man. The key is making him feel like he's getting everything he wants. It starts with energy. Men are moved by how we make them feel. So when we're soft, confident, and in our feminine energy, it makes him want to protect, it makes him want to provide and impress you. You know, make him feel like it's his idea. So instead of saying things like, buy me this, or I want this, try saying something like, hey babe, oh my God, I've been obsessing over this dress. It would look so good on me, right? You gotta like plant a seed and let him water it. You can guide a man without controlling him. Inspire him to want to give you everything. Reward his efforts. Men love to feel appreciated. They love gratitude. When he steps up, see him, smile, recognize it. Touch his arm, tell him, I love when you do that. It makes me feel so safe. Guess what? He'll crave to give it to you again because you associate his actions with him being a hero, making him feel like Superman. No man likes to feel small. Listen, we all know men have egos and they love when it's stroked. And I don't mind stroking when he deserves it, okay? We gotta stroke it softly. You know, babe, I feel so protected when I'm with you. We can make them feel powerful without giving up our power. Being soft doesn't mean to be silent. Men respond to tone, energy, and delivery. So if you're calm, sexy, and sure of yourself, he'll listen. You don't have to demand. Just suggest, and trust me, he will want to please you. Also, men like what they see. So when you walk in the room looking good, glowing, and smelling like heaven, you done already said everything without saying a word. It's in the sway of your hips, the gloss on your lips. That is feminine power. You don't force, you flow. And when you master the art of softness, you'll be getting everything you want. You don't chase, he gives and you receive.
If there was any piece of advice that I could get at girls right now, it would honestly be to just work on becoming more feminine. It's so just sexy and attractive. And I think all the girls should have the ability to really just bask in their feminine energy. Like, we're just girls. I follow a lot of girly girls, and it made me realize, like, dang, like, I'm a little rough, I'm a little hard. Like, deep down is a little boy buried, okay? I am the baby girl of 5 brothers, and I've hung with boys my whole entire life. So it's like, I've adapted some boyish ways, to be honest. Like, I'm really a tomboy. And yes, while I've, mastered kind of getting dressed more girly, and I keep up with myself. Like, my nose is always done, my hair is a little crazy right now, but my hair is always done. Like, I have other stuff that I'm currently working on, which is like my mannerisms and the way I talk. I got a crazy ass mouthpiece, I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. But when I like toned that down and I just started to become more feminine, more soft in the way that I respond and stuff like that, like, y'all, it gives me so much more what I want. I be having my way, okay? I'm just learning that it's okay to like be feminine, be soft, and just be a girl. Like, as I'm growing up, I just want to be more of a woman and just be more grown and more, soft and classy. And I feel like having like a smart ass mouth or, just having boyish ways is just not attractive. Like, not to me. A couple ways that I'm, working on becoming more feminine is, again, working on the way that I talk. And I'm trying not to curse as much, because if y'all watch my videos, y'all know I curse a whole lot, and I hate that I do that. Just like I said, keeping yourself up, like keeping your nails done, keeping your hair done, keeping your lips popping. Like having some type of self-care routine, having some type of maintenance routine. Yes, while in my pictures I be dressed up, I be like real girly dolled up. Like, on a day-to-day basis, if I don't feel like getting dressed, I'm not getting dressed. Like, I be coming outside looking crazy sometimes. That's something that I completely want to stop. Even like something like this, even though I got, like an athletic wear on, I could at least put my hair in a claw clip, put some lip gloss on, like stuff like that. So I kind of want to make like a series showing y'all, me become more feminine and showing y'all what I'm doing to become more feminine, in hopes that, like, if anybody else is on that same journey, y'all can just, have some tiny like tips or whatever. So I don't know, let me know if that would help. But yeah, just something that I was thinking about. Like, being more feminine really gets you your way, okay?
I don't know who needs to hear this today, but it is okay to decide that somebody trying their best or their hardest is still not enough for you. I think so many times we get stuck in situations because we listen to people make their promises and realize that, like, as much as they're promising and possibly trying, their actions still aren't aligning with their words. We just sit around waiting for it to finally make sense because people are so good at making everything sound good, and then there's nothing to back it up. I feel like a lot of times people will guilt trip you into staying because they're like, I'm trying my hardest, I'm trying my best, but nothing is good enough for you. And at the end of the day, that just honestly feels like manipulation. If you're actually having open communication with somebody and telling them exactly what you need and what you expect and what your boundaries are in a relationship, and they're still not being met, at some point it's like, are you really trying your hardest? Because I'm giving you the literal blueprint of what I need for this to be successful and for me to feel safe and understood and heard, and it's still not happening. A lot of times in relationships, especially women, we're not asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars. We're just asking for bare minimum shit, which is even more embarrassing because asking for the bare minimum should not take your absolute best effort. That person's obviously not the right person for you because they don't truly understand why it is so important to you. At some point, you also need to realize that the longer you allow them to keep talking without any of their actions aligning with it, the longer they will continue it. You let that man slide one time, he will be king of the playground, slipping and sliding all over the place. You wanted basic understanding, respect, bare minimum things, and they just decided that they didn't want to. Because a lot of the times, I really don't think it's that they're not able to, it's just that they don't have to because you're not requiring it. So I say all of that to say, if that person in your life is making it seem like you're asking for too much, just ask somebody else.
If you are a pretty woman and you are talented or unique, or you just get a lot of attention and people just kind of hate you for it, I have some good news and bad news. The good news is that it's most likely not your fault. The bad news is that there are a lot of women out there who are going to feel very threatened by you, and it honestly does not matter how nice or kind or genuine or sweet you are. That's not going to help. If anything, it actually makes it worse. There are actually studies that show if you are too sweet, too kind, or too genuine, that people will literally hate you, which is insane. I am not saying that you should be a bitch to everyone at all, but maybe we should be more picky of who we allow access into our energy. In high school, I dealt with a lot of bullying and a lot of mean girls, and I love my mom to death. She is amazing and she has the best intentions, but she used to give me the worst advice. We would just get so frustrated with the fact that I was dealing with it. She would just get to the point where she would be like, well, if everyone hates you so much, then there must be something wrong with you. The truth is that I didn't do anything to deserve it at all. I was just very pretty and I got a lot of male attention, and I was talented. I used to sing professionally. I was always the lead in the school musicals, and the girls did not like that. I have always been a girl's girl. All I ever wanted was to have like that big group of girlfriends like in the movies. It took me a really long time to understand there are just a lot of women out there who have not done the work of deconstructing their internalized misogyny, especially in high school. Until that happened, always going to be a one-sided competition between them and all the women around them, whether you're aware of it or not, especially women who feel like you have something that they don't have. If other people around you see you as pretty or unique or talented, you are going to attract these hating ass bitches. It took me until I was 24 years old to realize that I had to look for other women who were very secure in their identity in order to have deep, meaningful friendships. Every single time without fail, I have tried to be friends with a woman who is insecure in her identity. It doesn't matter how beautiful she is, how many millions of followers she has. It always ends in this secret competition that I never signed up for because she feels threatened. I am betting that a lot of you probably relate to that. I literally have an entire drawer full of blush, and I always go back to this lip gloss to use as blush instead. It's the Juicy Shift by Tarte, and it always gives me this like perfect pink. I have been through more friendship breakups than actual breakups. If you feel like this resonates with you, I am telling you the number one thing that you need to be looking for in female friendship is confidence in their own identity. And a good way to tell is notice how they react when something good happens to you. If they match your energy and are super excited for you, that's usually a good sign. I also look for people who have their own shit going on, like their own goals, because if they have their own stuff to focus on, their own passions, then they're not going to be so focused on yours. Another huge one that I look for is emotional maturity. I used to have this friend who was like super spiritual, and I just assumed that kind of went hand in hand with emotional maturity, but it was the exact opposite. He was very emotionally immature and very competitive. Everyone always asks me what mascara I use, but to be honest, I could wear any mascara and my eyelashes would look like this. It's because I use Grande Lash Serum every night. Got some spidey lashes, girl. The goal is to make friends with women who are secure and happy with themselves, because then they're not going to feel threatened when you're secure and happy with yourself. Good luck, and don't be so hard on yourself.